Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. I'm going to do a quick review on this Keurig K-Café. If you order this from Amazon, they ship it in the box. So it will not be a surprise to anybody that's getting it. So everybody will see what you're getting. Okay, so it comes very well packaged. Lots of tape everywhere. That black thing, make sure you don't lose that. That's taped to the plastic. Okay, so overall it's got a good feel to it. This feels nice and sturdy. It's got a lot of plastic, but it looks really nice. The water you're carrying, you're able to take it over and fill it up, and it's got a little groove. You got to put it in, but it fits really nice. Cord's not extremely long, but that's good. And the back of it looks pretty good. So I really like these handles. I wish more of these Keurigs came with these handles. That was really easy to fill up because of the handle. And then this just keeps the dust out. But it's got a maximum fill line, which gets it pretty close to the top. And then just use the handle to slide it in that groove. Okay, so when you first get these, you're supposed to run a 6 ounce of nothing but water through it. So you're going to turn the power button on, and it says lift the handle, don't put a K-cup in. What that does is that activates it. So after you first turn it on the first time, the pump is actually priming. So it's sucked down a bunch of water to begin with. So it must be filling up a reservoir in there or something, but it's taken on a bunch of water, and I haven't even activated it to brew anything yet. Okay, so that took about a minute. Okay, so this thing's not as quick to start as other Keurigs. I've turned it on. It sucked down a bunch of water. The heater is heating up the water, and it's been about 2 minutes so far, and I'm not able to press any buttons on here. See, nothing's activated. I can't even do a 6 ounce or anything. So and now it sounds like a burner is kicking on. Okay, so it's getting pretty loud, louder than a normal Keurig. And I'm still not able to hit any buttons. Okay, so that took about 3 minutes. If the lights aren't flashing, it says it's ready to go. Once you stop hearing that heating element, you may have to lift this up to activate it again. Once I lifted this up, then these lights started flashing again. So I'm going to press coffee and 6 ounce and then the K button. And this is just a cleaning the machine for your first brew. Okay, so I just did the cleaning process, the 6 ounce. And now you can hear that heating element kicked on again. And it's kind of loud, so just keep that in mind, but it doesn't last very long. Okay, so we're going to start off with just a simple thing of coffee. We're going to lift the handle. Now I always recommend don't pierce, just place this K-cup in there, let the machine do the job. When you close the lid, it's going to grab it, it's going to pierce the top, and then pierce the bottom. Make sure you push this down all the way. Then it activates these lights. You're going to hit coffee. Let's do a 10 ounce. And then you got to hit this K button. And it does not take long to, it starts brewing it almost automatically. Okay, so that took just about a minute or less. Now we're going to check the temperature. Yep, that's about right. 166, 168. So in order to take the K-cup out, now these K-cups are just a little hot, not too bad, but you can take them out and then throw them away. So as with all K-cups, you've got a sharp needle down there that's going to pierce the bottom, and then you've got this sharp needle, so be really careful of this one. And it pierces the top, and then it pierces the bottom. So I always cut one of these open just to make sure. People may not know exactly what's going on in these K-cups. I didn't at first. But your coffee's in a little filter. So I cut the bottom off. And so it shoots hot water in there. There's a little filter that your coffee's in. And then it comes out that bottom hole. So then I cut it open, and it's got some really fine grounds in there. And quite a bit of coffee for a single cup. And then that's what you're going to throw away. It looks like I got them all pretty well good saturated. So in previous videos, I've had people ask me, does it keep water inside here? And I'm going to have to say yes because of how much water it's sucked down. So I think there's a little reservoir inside here that it's going to keep water. So you may want to unplug this appliance if you're going to be gone for a while. Or if you've let it sit for a while, you may want to run some fresh water through it. So this thing comes factory default with this auto off light lit. So if you after you brew a cup of coffee and you leave it for 2 hours, it will shut off automatically, which is a nice feature. You can disable that feature by holding the strong and the 10-ounce button together, and that turns that light off. Okay, so it does have this nice feature. It's got the blinking add water light. It's not going to let you do anything. You can't brew anything. So even though the water looks like there might be enough to do one small coffee, it's not going to let you do it until you fill that back up. Okay, so now we're going to make a cappuccino. And inside this frothing container, if you can see, there are 2 lines, one for cappuccino, one for latte. And then you've got this black thing. You want to make sure the black thing is down there on that. Now it's held in by a magnet, and that is good because when you go to dump out your froth, you don't want that black thing to come out. So I use whole milk for my cappuccinos, and I'm going to pour it into the bottom of the cappuccino line. And I'm going to place it on this. Now it is not keyed, but it's kind of held in by a magnet. You'll kind of feel it grip. And you can turn the handle any which way. You want to make sure you've got the lid on. If you don't have the lid on, it's not going to quite froth right. So you're going to hit the cappuccino button once. It's going to beep, and then it's going to start frothing. It's really neat how it does it. Now, they do make espresso pods. Walmart doesn't sell very many of them, and I've just been using the French roast dark coffee and kind of the donut shop coffee. So when it's done frothing, the light goes out and it beeps at you twice, and then you can take this out. Now be careful, this is a little hot. You don't want to touch it. It's got a really nice handle. And then you can dump your... Like I said, this isn't going to be as much because this is for a cappuccino. It makes some really nice froth. We're going to place the cup under there. We're going to lift the handle. So now when you put a K-Cup in, you either select coffee or latte or cappuccino, you're going to press this button. When you press the latte cappuccino button, the strong light is lit and the shot light is lit. You can't deselect those or select those. The only thing you can do is press the K button. So we're going to press the K button. That's going to start the brew process. And this doesn't take very long at all. It takes about less than a minute. Okay, it's starting to brew the shot. I love how you get the separation when you put the milk in first. Okay, so that took less than a minute, and there you go. That's a pretty good tasting cappuccino, pretty quick. Okay, so now we're going to make a latte. For my lattes, I use 2% milk. We're going to fill, there's a latte line inside there. We're going to fill it up to the bottom of that latte line. We're going to place it in here. Again, we're going to put the lid on. We're going to hit the latte button one time. It's going to beep, and then it starts frothing. It's really neat how it froths. So again, make sure you put the lid on. It doesn't necessarily splash out of there, but it just helps with the heating process. Again, I don't have an espresso K-Cup. I use coffee K-Cups. And I'm going to put it in here. We're going to get this ready. Again, we're going to hit the latte and the cappuccino have the same button. The strong and the K-Cup light are lit. This is flashing and the shot light is lit, and we're going to hit the K-Cup light. So I hit the brew button. We're going to brew our shot. So we can do this simultaneously. This can be frothing and this can be brewing the shot. So there's your shot. There's about how much your shot is. You know, it's not a bunch. And it would be a little stronger if you had an espresso cup. But the espresso cups are just a little harder to find. Okay, so it beeps at you twice. The latte button goes off. It's got a really nice handle. Again, this gets hot, so be careful with that. And then we're going to pour in our froth and milk. And again, you get some really nice, even with the 2% milk, you get really nice froth. And I can stop it, or I can get more out. Again, it's nice that that black thing is held in there with a magnet. Otherwise, it'd be in your drink. So there you go. So inside here, it's really, I wouldn't put any water down in here, but it's really easy to kind of wipe out if you get some mess in there. Okay, so now we're going to make an iced latte. This is where this thing really shines. You're going to fill your cup up with about 3/4 ice. Then you're going to fill it up to the latte mark. I use 2% for these. We're going to set it there again. We're going to put our lid on. Now we're going to press the cold button. Because anytime you just press the latte or the cappuccino button, it heats this up as it froths it. So if we press the cold button first, then the latte button, it's going to froth that cold. And while that's working, we can come over here. We can add our K-Cup. Again, we got to just hit the latte button, cappuccino button, the shot and the strong brewer lid. We're going to hit the brew button. We can brew that. And then we'll add our cold milk and froth. Okay, so it's brewing it over the ice. Okay, so it beeped at us. We're going to take it off. Now it's cold. This is not hot, didn't heat it up. We're going to add in that froth is really rich. Yeah, these drinks taste really good. Yeah, that's just pretty cool how it comes down around the ice. That's all inside the cup. So you do get a little extra froth and milk in this size of glass, but you can keep adding it as it kind of melts down. Okay, so now I'm going to make my favorite drink, a white chocolate mocha. It's based on a latte, so I filled it up to the latte button. And this is going to be a hot drink. So I'm just going to hit the latte button once. Now I'm going to add my cake pod. So now I always put it in a travel mug. You can take this tray out, and that way your travel mug fits underneath there really nice. Okay, I'm going to hit the latte button. And I'm going to brew it. And then I use this is white chocolate you get from Walmart. Okay, so it beeped twice. I've got my shot ready to go. I'm going to pour in. I got like a bunch of froth for my white chocolate mocha. Now I'm going to add the white chocolate. I do 2 squirts. 1, 2. And then I also like a little Hershey syrup. Just to kind of give it a little more chocolatey taste. Not quite as much Hershey syrup. Okay, so then I stir that in really good. Okay, so that's a really good tasting white chocolate mocha. I made a cappuccino and I made an iced latte. So overall, this is a really quick machine. I'm going to do another video where I compare it to my Mr. Coffee. I think the Mr. Coffee might taste a little better, but it's got a little more prep work. But as far as easeability, the frothing is super easy with this. This is a really nice design here. This is dishwasher safe. That black thing, I don't know that I would throw that in the dishwasher or not. You might end up in the bottom. But and then everything else is just wiped down. It's your standard K-pod. Make sure you got your needles clean. But all in all, this is a very, very nice machine, and it's made for, these K-Cups are made for speed. They're not necessarily the most nature friendly, but so again, this is Just a Dad. I want to thank you for watching, and would you please like and subscribe.